Divine Light Accelerators. Welcome to Season 3 of Own Your Divine Light Show. I am Janet Miller, the Divine Light Activator, and I am so happy to have you here during this pivotal time in humanity's expansion. This is a momentous time, something none of us have experienced before, and I feel it's so important to share our experiences. We are in the shift of ages, and we are learning about ourselves, and it is a gift. If you are healthy, it can be a gift. If you are recovering or lost someone, I send my heartfelt blessings to you. What will be the new normal we are stepping into? We will hear what our guest has to say, and I have an amazing guest today, Christina Hill, world-renowned channeler and celebrity coach. Hello and welcome, Christina. So wonderful to have you here. And Athella, of course. And before we really bring Christina and Athella to here, I would love to do a grounding for all of us, since it's so important for us right now to be in our bodies. So I'd like you all to make sure your feet are on the ground, and I'd like you to take a nice deep breath all the way into your belly and blow it out. And I want you to visualize going down your legs, crystalline roots of light, and see those roots of light going down through the layers of the earth and going down towards that giant crystal in the center of the earth. And that crystal is the heart. I see it as the heart of Mother Gaia. And connect with Mother Gaia and become one with her. And then Mother Gaia is going to send up her beautiful golden crystalline energy, and it's going to come flowing up those beautiful layers of the earth, right up into the bottom of your feet, into your legs, up into your belly, up through your arms, into your chest, and see it go up into your neck and into your head, and then circle around and come back down and into your heart. And I want you to put your hands on your heart right now and to just connect with your heart. And your heart is a beautiful golden flame, which is your self-love light and your spirit, who you are. God love, your love, loving yourself, and God's loving you, because we are all one. We're all part of this, of spirit. And I want you to visualize that golden flame just getting brighter and brighter and radiating out into the cells of your body like a liquid golden light, and just filling your cells with this beautiful liquid light, just flowing into your cells and loving you with all this beautiful love light, your self-love light, filling you with this light, filling your cells, and then flowing around you and putting you in this beautiful golden cocoon of light. And this is our beautiful sacred space right now for this time with Christina and Athella. I want you to just relax again, take a breath and open your eyes. And we're all here together in this beautiful space, and so blessed to be with Christina and Athella. So when you're ready, come back and open your eyes. Thank you. And Christina, oh my goodness. Christina is a world channeler, a world-class channeler. I mean, she has been to the prestigious Carnegie Hall in New York City. Christina is a trailblazer, and she has a new outlook about channeling and the healing power it has on human beings. She was born with a heightened awareness of her intuitive abilities. Christina has communicated with the spirits of people and animals since she was a child. And when she was a child, she was told that her abilities were not good. They were condemning her to eternal damnation because of her family's religious beliefs. So she grew up hiding her gifts and all these experiences from others. And through the years of personal work and her spiritual mentorship, Christina has learned to embrace and all the aspects of herself and to live in harmony with them. From there, she began to hone her spiritual abilities, focusing in on the ancient art of first-person channeling. And Christina was recently filmed in a documentary called Everyone Can Change by her dear friend, Michael Pascal. And this film has received recognition as the premier inspirational story in 2019 for the Mind Dive group. It's an app and it was in Los Angeles. It was really heralded as a fantastic new movie, and I watched it. It was beautiful. And she currently lives in the Yucatan Peninsula, where she's founded the Athella Retreat, and she has a center which guides clients from around the world through healing dolphin retreats. And this is in the Mayan heart of the earth. And welcome, Christina. You have really come back from some emotional things. And you say hello, Christina, because I haven't let you talk yet. Go ahead.
The crystal lining energy is in the silence, actually. And we feel that silence. When we go into the stillness, there's so much that can be shared. And so I appreciate as well guiding us through, Janet, this grounding, centering, coming back to our bodies. It is very important that we are one with our bodies, squarely centered and rooted in right here, right now. This is the mainstay. It's what saved me from living in boxes, moving into the forest, and then graduating in ascension and moving on to channeling and other things. Right here, right now. And it is possible then, we're being called now to station ourselves in right here, right now, whatever it looks like, whatever material might be arising, that we are full present. Acceptance, surrender for right now. And keeping it right here, right now helps us to be free.
Absolutely. That's so beautiful. And it's so true. And I know that you had learned that through the Power of Now book. That sort of opened you up to this whole presence. And I remember reading that book, and it was such a mind-blowing book because it was so new. The thought was so new then. It was like, really, what is the power of now? And I think the book is kind of it's coming back. I listen to Eckhart all the time, and he's amazing, and he's so present, and he's always so present, and he's so soft and very quiet, and just the way his voice comes through is so beautiful, and his words were so powerful. And you have totally brought that through yourself with Athella, and the way your own personality has just embraced it. And I know your life growing up was difficult, and you went through a lot of crazy things, but you got through it. And you left home at 18. You took it on yourself. You said, I'm done. I need to take care of me. And of course, then your journey didn't change. You kept going. You kept finding these incredible experiences. And like the first one I heard about was that Mexican, when you went to Mexico at 18 and you were there. I don't know if you like to talk about that anymore, but I was like, that's a mind.
I can talk about it now. This is, totally. This is a testament to what I'm about to say too, is not in any way, because the ego wants to run wild with stories. That's what the ego does. The ego runs wild or wears a stripe like a badge, like I went through this.
Well, that's not it. No.
Pay attention to me, because, and that's why it took me many years to do a documentary or to even voice this, because I said, that just draws a lot of attention to the me. So that's a preface to what I'm about to say. The first trip to Mexico, though, was trying to find my way in the world where I didn't have parents or people that parented me, and there was a lot of toxic abuse. And so I went to Mexico, and then I was kidnapped and thrown in the trunk of a car, and I was gang raped by 2 different groups of men and left on the side of a dirt road to find my way back. And then it proceeded to grow. The climax of the story then was I had 2 home invasions where I was home and held at gunpoint, and 2 different instances where I kind of had that moment seeing my life flash before me. And in every instance, each of these events, an opportunity for me to die another death, to die before I die, in other words. And it's like, I firmly believe this, Janet. Now, without these events, I would not be where I am right now. Right. I was very fortunate to have Michel Pascal. He brought me into the Amity Foundation in Los Angeles. And they were very honoring. They invited me to come, and I met and sat down with offenders, many of them life offenders that are in prison for life. And I had the opportunity to guide them through meditations and to meet some of these men who had raped women. And I had an incredible insight with Athella that all of this is coming full circle. Here you are, Chris, after all these traumas, sitting down and guiding these men through meditations on forgiveness, releasing trauma from the body, not just talking about it, but releasing it from the body. And then growing up into a higher a higher self, a 5D version with Athella. These opportunities, they do not come without, you know, the lessons, and without these events, I firmly believe I wouldn't be talking with you and working with Athella the way that I do. So I'm very thankful. And I share that only because people need a backdrop to know that this stuff is possible. With the now, we have a savior in the now. We have salvation in this here and now space, which never goes out of style. The Eckhart world, you know, this information, you'll never fall out of that. We can't backpedal out of that. It will always be that life springs forth from right here, right now. We will always, I love that. I'm in love with the now. We can always depend upon the now and life happening out of the now. And we do not have to project into future. We do not have to shuffle over the past every day, waking up every day, those games of the mind. We don't have to identify with that, those thoughts. We can train ourselves to sit squarely right here, right now, and be comfortable with what the now reveals. Comfortable with what is right here, right now.
Yeah.
So as I was, you know, being shoved, and I use this example because it's pertinent to this conversation, but I don't think about it. It's not in my body.
No.
And I want people to know that. As I was shoved up against the car and there were multiple men coming and raping me, I had moments where I was able to breathe and I came back to my breath. And I knew that life was happening now. I don't know how else to describe it, but I saw light, I felt it, and I was breathing, and that is how connected, I think the connection was made for me. That thing that Eckhart says, that people, when they come to this material, they've either lost something, they've lost something huge. All the forms have been ripped away, they become a prisoner, they're in prison, right? Or they get pushed to the edge and they cannot stand themselves anymore. They cannot stand the suffering in the mind anymore. And I had those opportunities in these traumatic events to experience the now and the healing power that it has to see us through, even the unspeakable, even the most unspeakable things. So I really honor and pay homage to the now, and I pay homage to this moment. Every single moment we are alive is truly a gift. It's a gift, it's an honoring, and it's an opportunity to choose, am I gonna follow these thoughts in my head? Am I gonna live in the story, or am I gonna choose freedom?
It's so true. It's so true. I mean, it took me a while to understand what the now was. I mean, it really isn't something you can grasp that easily. And I think that's why the gift of right now is so important for us to really be in the now. And I think it's making everyone conscious of the now, which we weren't, a lot of us weren't ready for that, but now we're in it and we're like, wow, what is this all about? And it's some people like, it was so interesting. My husband said yesterday, you know, I'm kind of liking this quieter moment. And I'm like, wow, that's really positive. I love hearing that, you know, because he's still working, and he's an essential, so he's going to work. But he, you know, he could see the good in it. And I felt the same. I mean, I work here, so I appreciate the stillness anyway. I mean, I have nothing on usually during the day, unless it's a podcast or something, but I listen to the birds and I'll just hear the sound of nature outside. And I just love that. I don't need anything on. I don't need music. I don't need anything. I just like nature because it's a beautiful, quiet area I live in. So it's so perfect, you know. And I used to live in the past and I used to live in the future. I never lived in the now. I mean, I really can say that. I didn't. I was like, well, how come I'm always talking about tomorrow and not today? And it finally dawned on me that I wasn't talking about today. And this is like a few years back. And, you know, it takes what it takes. And now we're all, you know, living present. And as soon as you embrace the present, your life is richer. It's richer. You get the freedom, like you say, it's so much richer. And like for you, what you went through is huge. And yet you could stay so present, knowing that, okay, I'm breathing. I'm still breathing. And somehow, you know, you just trusted that you're going to get through it. and that you would, and you just stayed in the moment. You just stayed in your presence, and you didn't panic, and you didn't, which was so profound, and that got you through it, and that you could help these men. I mean, it's an amazing teaching for people to hear, that you can go out and now help these men, and rehabilitate, and see what the other side is like. They got to hear from the other side of a person who has been in that position, and they could totally, they could feel your forgiveness. They could feel your forgiveness of all that they've done. Yeah, it's powerful.
In the light of the now, even in the light of the now, and thank you for sharing about this, about your experience being home, your husband's experience, because you're right. When we're kind of cornered in the now, it kind of forces us to be still and to be aware, to be present. So thank goodness we're being called to spiritual sanctuary. We're being called to spiritual retreat as the earth is renewed. Athella says this is what's going on. In the light of the now, even the need for forgiveness, I realized in my heart, not as a thought, but in my heart, in the light of the now, there is no need for forgiveness. It just washes away. Something about the now, the light quality of the now, has the power to transcend things that, of course, the mind, we can't fathom it. It's like forgiveness of a person who has murdered our child, for example, which I have met a woman who, as it so happens in Los Angeles, who did that very thing. And she goes and regularly visits the inmate that's responsible for her son's death, or I should say her son's release. And she's this beautiful African-American woman. She sings before she goes in to visit. And she's so in the now. She just sees this beautiful being. She's working with him on him coming into the now and forgiveness for himself. So I see it as the healing agent in all of this, no matter what the situation, no matter what the hell's going on. In this now, we can really root in our breath. Taking a breath, it disengages something with the mind and comes right back right here, right now. And the more that we do this, or rather being this, the more we're being, the more the mind gets, used to, the neurons in our brain get used to, our meditation is every moment of our life. This is the here and now, it's every moment of my life. So if everyone listening in is following this, really, the good news is as we continue to be in the now, it becomes a habit, an enduring trait.
Yes.
What a blessing.
It is. And all we have to do is look at nature to be reminded of how to be in the now. Just look how present they are. I mean, I look at the birds in my yard, and I look at the squirrels and the rabbits running around, and I'm like, they're so in the moment, and I have to be there too. It's important for me to be right like that. And then they connect. Then they start connecting with you because they see you're present. And I love that. I'm starting to work with connection with them. So
and this is how we receive telepathy. Right now you and I are talking on the human level, but here in a few moments, when we tap into Athella, we're going to feel this shift and change. And it's an elevation, no better than, less than, none of that, but it's an elevation of energy that takes us up to the 5D. And in the 5D, there's not a whole lot of talking needed.
Right.
There's the connection with nature or with those beings that are attuned. High vibrations allow us to connect through the telepathy, and it's fast and it's fun. It's just
I heard that's where we're going. We're going into telepathy because that's the pure way, and that's why there's no secrets anymore. There's no secrets. So if you have any, you better get them out now.
That's right.
You can't hide anything anymore. It's all out there. We're all transparent. To be transparent is to be, 5D.
Clean.
To be clean. And it feels so good because I too am 28 years sober myself. So I understand the road you traveled, and that you could do it yourself was remarkable. And even though I got help with the 12-step groups, your experience wasn't the same. And I was like listening to, when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's too bad that she had to go through some different kind of experiences than I did. But, as we say, we're meant to get what we're meant to get. And you learned how to do it yourself. You learned how to just say, the more you were in the now, the less you needed these outside influences to distort you and to, you know, kind of, you know, medicate you.
Yeah.
So that's
so looking deep in with every person listening, looking deep within, knowing that we're becoming pure like the diamond, crystal and clear, then we can know that anything, any unconsciousness is going to rise up. It's going to bubble up. At this point, at this stage, it's going to bubble up for our awareness. Maybe we're feeling, and I say we because we're the collective, we're all together. Maybe we're going to be feeling some things, some manifestations through the body, right? Some imbalance in the body. The body is having fever or is reacting to things, or the body is ready for transition. Wherever you are at with the body, we can feel now that it's emerging. The spiritual aerial view says that this is emerging for transparency and for release, which is not bad. It's not bad unless the mind gets its talons on that thing and starts to label as good and bad, and this is this and this is that. But if we stay very present, we can sense that our body is releasing. The collective old pained body, it's releasing.
absolutely, yeah.
And we're going to be cleansed. And my goodness, there are legions of angels everywhere. And it's not imaginary. We're not fantasticalizing anything. This is real. We see them now. You're seeing them in your vision field. Janet, you're channeling the animals. You're getting animals speak and animal guides arriving. We're really being hoisted to 5D where we can feel our angels all around us, supporting us through the great transition into the new world. That's the truth.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. I believe that fully. I really do.
Yes.
So I want to ask you one quick question before Athella comes through. I know she's coming. What is the first person channeler? Is that a different kind of channeler versus, I mean, you called yourself a first person, so I had never heard that term before.
I hadn't either. When I first met Athella, I didn't know what channeling was at all.
Right, I can imagine.
So I said, I had never even heard the word Athella.
Yeah, I never have either.
So she said to me when I met her, after all the prisms of light and all of this, I thought I'd passed out of my body. I was quite sure of it, in fact. And after all the light show, she said, I am Athella, say it. And at that point, I was flat on my back and I was in deep, deep unconscious state, in a past life regression kind of state. And my mouth opened and the words came up. Something happened through my throat, through my voice. And I said the word Athella. I realized it was an activation. And ever since that day, that moment, the pipes or the voice box, she calls them spiritual pipes or bagpipes of the spirit. They are manipulated by Athella, because Athella is not a guide for me. She really is a blue being, like one of those alien beings, friendly beings, serious bee. And she has the ability then to work through the vocal cords, like bagpipes. And then the energy transmission, it actually emits and spouts out blue ray light. And these emissions can be felt in the body. They change cells, they multiply your abundance, they heal DNA, they recoil you, put you in a state that's just beautiful, angelic vibration. There are other forms of channeling that are just as wonderful, just as powerful, and they're different than when a being from another planet or outer galactic planet comes through and taps into these for the purpose of healing others. Does that make sense?
Okay, so it does. Now, so she's not a higher aspect of you?
No.
Okay, so she's a totally different being. Okay, that's what I was trying to clarify. Okay, good. Okay, that makes more sense.
Everyone has guides and angels, and I thought the same thing. And in fact, I had many mentors in the very beginning say to me, hey, this is your higher self. You know that this is just part of your personality, or a double personality, in fact. You know that you have a mental, you're kind of mental there, Chris. And I had a lot of feedback from people.
I bet.
And it was, that's pretty funny, right? No. But so I just went to the
Yeah.
boss. I said, well, what gives, fella? You know, what is this? What are you? And am I making this up? Is this imaginary?
Right.
We go
Right.
through these tests and we listen deeply, we learn through experience. The hoverboard, what's going on, and ego has its place, Christina's personality, the shadow self, the inner child, learning about higher self, and the guides that are on the outer sphere of the aura, those beautiful angels. And then Athella. Athella is a blue being that is quite literally like a dolphin.
Okay.
And feels, it sounds weird to say this, but it feels like a satellite. Feels like an outside being that is coming through to allow healing to happen. So she helped me to learn by felt experience. And I learned over the years to distinguish imagination, you know, playing around, my guides, my personality, and then Athella. And also, just to make things more concrete, I asked Athella to provide proofs, which she happily does. And she does that whenever she meets with someone who has an imbalance. Always giving credit to Athella. And we just say, you know, thank you, Athella, because Athella is the one that, you know, recalibrates the kidneys, or for a client that is an emotional crisis. And a lot of celebrities at this point are in emotional crises.
I bet they are. Sure.
Everyone listening to this show is doing magnificent. But I just say the celebrities of this world, the ones that are in the ultra rich, you know, 1%, they're struggling. And so Athella will come through and do some recalibrating and healing. And those are the proofs. Seeing people change, seeing their bodies change, their mind and everything else. And I just attribute it to Athella. But yeah, getting used to that, and for anyone who's new to channeling or is on their channeling pathway, that requires, I would say, sponsorship, mentorship.
Yeah.
Get yourself in with good sponsorship and mentorship so that you can really feel out, you know, and it doesn't have to be like the way that I learned it, the hard way.
I know. You didn't get it easy.
Yeah. The learning curve could be a lot shorter, and it is, because we're moving into 5D. So everyone's going to be shown, and the channeling can vary. It's such a beautiful gift that we're, as humans, we're supreme beings, and we're being offered a chance to experience 5D and use the channeling for our benefit.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's powerful. I channeled a little, but I was a little nervous, and I haven't totally allowed it through. But blue people, I was connecting with blue people in the early 2000s. I mean, I saw a couple of blue people, I mean, in my mind's eye, when I was getting reconnected with the reconnection. And that was powerful. I was amazed. And then I went to Egypt and I saw the blue light going up the stairs of the pyramid. So I was wondering, are the beings who created the pyramids, were they the blue beings?
Of course.
That's what I thought, the Assyrians. And so I always felt so much connection to Egypt. So no wonder I have that connection to the Syrians. It's like, okay, they're all connecting, and that makes so much sense. And I get chills now that I said that. I can feel that energy. So are you bringing Athella through? Do you want to bring her through?
If we're ready to step into the 5D.
Oh, such a
Wonderful.
gift. Thank you so much.
Feel this. Let your mind soften. Let your mind go quiet. like you are telling a child to shh. Now let's raise or turn up the volume and feel more direct blue-ray light. This is Athella. Hello, starseeds. Hello, Janet Syrian.
Welcome, welcome. So blessed to have you here. So blessed. So I was just wondering if you had any messages. I'm sure you do. What do we need to know right now with our sanctuary situation, and just whatever you feel we need to know? I'd love to, you know, have you bring that through if that's possible. Whatever we need to hear, this group would be wonderful.
Your world is not the same anymore. You can wave goodbye to it.
Mm-hmm.
Feel as though you are closing a chapter. The world, the planet, and its axis has changed. Look up at the sky at night. You'll see many satellites have appeared. Now there is drumming, trumpeting from Gabriel coming from the sky.
Wow.
Now even those at NASA, those that are sending up the rocket ships, they are even in the know that Syrians, some Pleiadian communities, Arcturians, we're all joining forces to usher in, to embrace the planet, to help you all acclimating to the planetary change, while Mother Earth gets a breather. Whew.
Sure is. She is. So Athella,
Humans
so
have
you chose
become
to...
so, yes, please.
No, go ahead. You speak. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Humans have become so busy in the mind. The chaotic, racy mind has had a hand in accelerating and perpetuating this situation. Now you are in your homes. But what is the true home? The true home is in here. You are being asked to look within, to discover your own essence, that which cannot be taken from you. You're being asked to stabilize yourself, to calm yourself, to be more quiet these days, less thinking, more being. As you are right now, you are rediscovering the I am. This, on the whole, is cleansing the earth. And when you begin to trickle out of your homes, very soon you will be trickling out and returning to the hologram you call your life. You will not be the same. You will remember the imprinting. You will remember these quiet moments where you have found solace, your inner island of security within your breath. Now tell Athella, Could your mind provide this kind of illumination? No. The racy mind, the ruminating mind, like the little squirrel or hamster running in the wheel, the mind going, going, going all the time, doing, doing, doing. Could that kind of insanity give you the illumination of knowing yourself? Knowing your I am-ness, being? No. Thus, welcome to you all to 5D. The qualities and characteristics of 5D, they're blissful, and they also call for responsibility to parent your mind, to become the captain of your ship, to monitor your manifestations, to become involved daily in meditation as your life. Not just meditation when things are quiet and you light a candle. Meditation even amongst the chaos. 5D, it's already here, it is eclipsed. The Alliance of Light has given you all humans this time to be in your homes, to find your real home, your true home. It's not your body. It's not your house. Your true home, once discovered, it sets in motion the vibration, your illumination. And you are 5D. Everything then changes. The world has changed. I know that you will listen to this interview repeatedly, and the more you do, the more set and settled you can feel, supported, the more real, colorful and vibrant your taste buds will change. You'll see colors more vibrantly, your hearing, your sight. It is a rebirth, and you are welcoming it with open arms. Do you have a question for Athella?
Well, everything you just said, you validated things I've been hearing for years about all the changes and the colors and the taste and all of that. I've read that in different ways, and you're just validating, which I think is so wonderful. And what do you think is going to, for the next rest of the year or even into 2021, are we still going to be going through this, Athella, or how fast do you think we're going to rise, or is that, of course, dependent upon us?
It is dependent upon you as a grouped collective. For the remainder of the year, you will begin trickling out of your homes. It's already begun. 2021 then is a bright burst where you will see solar flares, more shooting stars and supermoons, and more outer galactic activity. This chapter, the one where you are finding your inner home, it will come to a close. Please use it. Use it fully.
Okay.
2021 marks the start of new chapter. Ascending to 5D is an important, vital step in being able to maneuver in the world starting in 2021. Fear has no place in the 5D sphere. It's dissolving away. We will see those that are in fear, they will come up and they will meet those light carriers. Vibrationally, it will not stand. This is all designed so that higher vibratory beings are helping to heal those that are still living in fear. Trust in knowing angelic forces, celestial divine beings, and your alien buddies too, the Pleiadians and Sirians, Arcturians. We're all helping. We want to see humans doing well. Before you go off to other planets, the rocky red planet, that's a no-go zone until you can figure it out here on planet Earth and do well. Going to another planet, it's just going to create another society of subpar, below high vibration consciousness. Raise your vibration. Each individual must do this. As you do, the collective is raised, doors are open, solutions are now coming. The vibration then changes and assimilates to the axis. I know all of this is a lot of language. However, backed behind the words, Athella is transmitting blue ray light that you will understand to be healing, loving. You can do it. You're supported here. This temporary sanctuary time, and there is no time. It won't last forever. Use it. Yes.
So, thank you, Athella. Oh my goodness. So, and that makes so much sense. So when you say we let go of this raise our consciousness, what exactly are people needing to do that don't know what you're talking about? Like, I understand it, but what would you say to those that are still kind of not understanding what is 5D and what is this higher consciousness? How would you explain that to them?
Imagine that there is a building and it has many floors, 12 plus. You go into the building, reception is there with angel wings to greet you. You can hang out in the lobby. You can go to first, second, or third floor. It's okay. It's nice. You see that they serve tea and things. Not much of a view. And you feel stuffy. Getting to third, fourth floor, restless, anxiety. You feel afraid. You feel the emotions are controlling your world. It's not the right floor for you. Something in you says, I've outgrown this. Like a child that wants to see the full amusement park. The beings, the source, the divine intelligence, whatever you want to call it, maybe it is the Christ consciousness. Please don't get locked on the labels that Athella uses. These are just words. The energy that has set all this up, the whole planet, everything you see in your world, that energy would like you to go to the elevator and go up to the 5th floor. As you do this, the doors open and you receive an education. Doesn't matter if you do not know the concepts right now that Athella speaks. They're beyond concept, beyond the mind. You will learn them as you go. As you step into 5D, you're vibrating on that level. Much like being on the 5th floor is different than being on the 3rd. 5D guarantees a spiritual education. You will learn all about the 5D and who you truly are. You are a light being. You are made of light and energy. That's it. You'll realize that you are creating so rapidly. You are manifesting. Your co-creations are instant. You understand the telepathy. There is no fear. You're letting go of traumas. Not living in stories, storyland. And there are many more features to 5D. We could do an entire show upon this. Suffice to say, what you need to know at this stage, what you need to know right now, that's good enough to spur, to ignite your light. If you are still engaged in this interview, it means that you are ready. The teachings will arrive. You will learn more. You don't have to know how. Just keep listening. Repeat this. Allow then that your guides and life itself will guide you. You will learn as you go. One thing is for certain. The voice inside the head that you recognize to be you, the ego voice, that is moving to the back seat. Who is going to drive? That would be your highest self, your spiritual self, the heart. Your vehicle, your body, is going to follow its cue from the driver, your heart. The heart will lead in your days. And the ego mind, it will have its place, but it will be in the back seat. And your whole life changes. The hologram, the thing that you call your life, changes. Every aspect, from your finances to your relationships to your service, not work, service, to the vocation that you have chosen for your service. Everything in your life changes as you ascend. Athella has gifted so much information, yet behind the information, the most crucial is feeling the light. Feel this blue light. As we did at the start, I said to you, feel. Athella wishes to ask you to lean in close and feel. Yes. Now I will turn up the volume, increasing the blue ray. You can feel this.
Yes. Yes.
Just feeling is more than enough. If that's all you take from today's sitting, all of you listening, you have succeeded. You are doing so well. You are loved. It's more than enough to just feel the blue energy enriching your body, entering into your cell, washing away the pain, releasing. It's more than enough. I will conclude with the Syrian blessing of the triangle, the Syrian symbol for healing. Whenever you feel triggered, stuck, upset, in fear, use this symbol over your heart center. You can even say the word silently, Athella, which is an activation, not just a word. Athella. Activation. And settling into the serenity, surrender to this moment. This is Athella with an interactive blessing. Thank you, Janet Syrian. Your spiritual name is not Janet. You have a different name, but that is for another call.
Okay, I would love to know, but thank you. Thank you so much, Athella. That was so beautiful and so profound. And
Love
I have
and light.
so beautiful.
And that's Athella taking her shift. When she shifts out, I'm just coming back in. Thank you, Athella.
Wow.
Eyes watering a bit.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, and it's so interesting how your voice changes just that little, just enough that you know it's not you. It's just enough.
Yes. Yeah, we've had a great deal of years of practice with that, and that Athella can really shift in a way that's not jolting for me or for anyone else, and that's what she wants, for sure.
Yeah, and your voice just changes, like with that really, you know, some kind of there's like a proper tone to it, like an authority tone comes in a little too. You kind of feel that energy of her knowing it. Beautiful.
Syrians have it right. They really do.
They do. And you know, I love when she gave, I didn't know about this sign, but the triangle sign was always something that I always did triangles when I was a child. I was obsessed with them. And now I understand why.
Yes.
Because it's all, you know, you always start connecting the dots to your childhood, because that's the innocence. You don't even know why you do things, but you're doing it.
Sure.
And it's so beautiful. That's amazing. And so much validation for what we're going through. And yet we need to be aware of the window. We need to be aware of the window we have to become aware of our I am presence. I mean, that was such a beautiful message, to know I am, we are all that is. We are part of all that is. We are in essence, we are a light being ourselves. And people are, the more they trust this information and the more they're willing to embrace it and embody it. And we all are still, you know, we can all still, you know, need a little more, but it's amazing how it's shifting us. And I can just feel that.
Yeah.
Her energy was just so beautiful. That blue ray was just beautiful. So stunning, so stunning. So thank you. And I know time is getting quickly. We have about 5 minutes left. So I want to thank you, Christina. Is there anything that you have as a message for our audience for the rest of 2020?
As a representative for Athella, I can only agree with whatever Athella has shared. I don't have any recall from Athella's time, so it's great. I just get the blank screen goes on.
It's all right.
I would say too, it works out really nice. I would say too, really no matter, and this is not a pep talk, this isn't a Tony Robbins moment, but really, truly, no matter what the material that may be arising, because some of us are in less than health vibration, some of us are in less than wealth vibration, whatever it happens to be, that we really meet that head on. We don't run. Sit with whatever material is arising every day. Sit with it, even if it's excruciating, uncomfortable, and get help. right? Online, our beautiful brothers and sisters in spirituality, there's so many resources. Find one that you align with. I know Athella and I are on Facebook. If you feel called to, we have lots of free material, but sit with the material that's arising. Whatever the now offers, sitting with that is the way through it. It is the way, like the fire phoenix, to burn through that and to change.
Yeah.
And for those that feel it's not possible, well, here you have an example of what is possible. And it is possible to be with whatever is arising. Yes.
It was incredible. Thank you, Christina. Thank you for that. And I know you have an amazing gift, and it's really powerful. And I just want to say one thing. I know I was, this is a great information that Syrians believe humans are capable and really hungry to step into the 5D consciousness of the wealth vibration. So this is going to help you on this. This is an amazing offer that Christina is giving us. So would you like to share it?
Sure. Firstly, and this is very important before anything else, you are already abundance. You're already the wealth of the universe beyond any numerical figure. Just look at your cells, look at nature. There we go. We know that we're wealth. But to really embody this, to help with mentorship, sponsorship, Athella is offering one-to-one sessions if you'd like to meet Athella. And boy, Athella does so much in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. So we're offering this, this meeting. If you'd like to, you can meet with Athella. Also on our Facebook, we're doing a 21 days of, and this is free, 21 days of wealth manifestation, wealth consciousness, so that you're on the increase, you're elevating to this, maybe you're working your way into it. And these offerings, you can find them at athella.org if you feel called. The call is something specific. You're going to know it. Maybe you're seeing the blue lights. Maybe you're feeling from this interview. The signs are there. And if you feel called to, Athella is here to be in fellowship with you and to help ease us all with grace and light into 5D.
Thank you, Christina. That offer will be in a link below at the, and when this is of this interview. So please look for that link if you're interested in booking an Athella appointment. And why wouldn't you, is what I have to say. I know I'm going to. So thank you so much, Christina. And I'd just like to thank our listeners. Always love to thank you for being here. And we love hearing anything you've taken from this amazing moment with Athella and Christina. It's just, it was such a gift for all of us to have her here today on the show. And please share it. And you can email us at ownyourdivinelight@gmail.com. And I always answer anything personally that you send me. I really do. And so people can attest to that. I always answer it. So it's wonderful. And Christina, thank you again for sharing your divine light and all the support you're giving humanity and accelerating their divine light and unlock their passions, igniting their authenticity, and finally creating the lives they love. And
thank you. Thank you, Janet. The I am in me sees the I am in all of you. We're honoring you, Athella and I. We're in love with you, in love with life, and we're here to serve. Thank you so much for being open in the heart space and for the trust for this collision of energy today. Thank you for the trust. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for trusting me as well to be here to serve you. So I am Janet Miller, and thank you. I will see you all on the next episode.